Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's 2024, and there is a lot of people that are complaining about gaming, whether it's their graphics or whether it's the gameplay being unfair, the matchmaking not being good, not having enough balance, people playing against controller players on a PC instead of other console players thinking that they would be on console because they had a controller. And the list just goes on and on and on and on, and it doesn't really stop. Now, this came up on my YouTube recommendation today, and as I was watching this video of the midnight release of the PlayStation 2 in the year 2000 by scrubbing with 1B, I noticed something, okay? Gaming used to be different. You've got midnight launches. You've got a kid with his mom waiting for the PlayStation 2 to come out. You have people camping in the mall. You have this guy who brought his cat to the release of his favorite game console. And look at all these people in the lineup. Everybody is here to have a good time. Nobody's arguing, and everybody is genuinely excited for the games that they are about to purchase and bring home and play for the rest of the night. Further, as I was watching this video, I was paying attention to some of the equipment in the video, such as the old computers they had back in the day. And I was also paying attention to some of the TV displays in the background. If we happen to run into one, you might be able to see it. There it is. And I started to think to myself, this is what gaming used to be like. And now we have 4090s, we've got 3D processors, we've got systems with 128 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of RAM, 24 gigs of VRAM, thousands and thousands and thousands of CUDA cores in the GPUs, 16 core processors. The list is just insane what we have that is really good for gaming now. And I started to think to myself, gaming must have been more fair back then. And the reason I think that, and all of these people complain so much today, is because back in the day when the PlayStation 2 came out, or say the Xbox 360, and you had these consoles for years, almost everybody was running the same type of hardware. You had an Xbox 360, you had a PlayStation 2, you had a 60 Hz TV that was 480p, 720, and if you were one of the rich boys back then, you had $1,000 for a 1080p TV that's like 32 inches. You know what I mean? So this is kind of what those setups looked like. These are your decent setups for gaming back then. You know, you got your Xbox 360, your TV, your controller, and probably a Turtle Beach headset if you really want to get into it. And at the time, you could get all of this stuff for $500. That's an Xbox 360, a headset, the game of your choice, and probably a cheap TV that you need to play the game on. You know, maybe you spend another $100-$200 and get that 720p upgrade. But you could get into Xbox 360 gaming on stuff like this for $500 with your game, with your controller, with your membership, everything. It's all in. Or what you could get during some of the prime for PC gamers was spend the same price on a GPU that doesn't even have 1 gigabyte of VRAM and it's DDR3 memory. This is what interested me a lot because when I was younger, I did buy a PC to try and play Modern Warfare 2 on, the original Modern Warfare 2 from way back in the day, and I was a teenager, and I didn't know why the game was stuttering, I didn't know what was going on. And now that I'm looking back at this, I realize that my graphics card was probably a fraction of what this is and could barely even just run the game to begin with. So for those reasons alone, not being able to play in high resolution on this card and play these games that are competitive on a PC without spending huge money, most people were in fact gaming on 360s and PlayStation 3s. And that's why you had more fairness and more competitiveness. If you were lagging in a lobby, you just had a bad connection with the matchmaking because you got connected to a couple guys out in Europe or something like that. But for the most part, you wouldn't have the differentiation. I shouldn't say nobody, but you wouldn't usually have somebody in there getting 140 FPS in a $2,000 monitor on a crazy modded controller with, this an insane PC and no latency and has a VPN to a really, really close server. Their connection's awesome. Like, this is the type of stuff that just never used to happen. If you were someone who was gaming in the old days and you wanted to cheat, you had to put in the effort to learn how to cheat, or you had to go insert the codes, or you had to go join modded lobbies, potentially modify your own console and be able to put things on it that would be able to let you cheat in the game. It took more than just downloading a program and running it on your PC. And the people that were doing that were playing things like Counter-Strike, because these graphics cards could run Counter-Strike really well, and not things like Call of Duty. So if you really go back and you really do take a look at the past there from what we used to have, especially for money to value, it's no question now that you've got someone that can spend $700 to $1,000, someone can spend $500, someone can spend $1,500, and now you're going to have a completely different range of systems, rather than way back in the day, everybody getting their families, their favorite consoles and TVs and plugging them in and connecting online and playing. Now it's everything else, and it's not to say that these things weren't there back in the day, but you can see from the price, the only people that were buying these types of cards and gaming on PCs were people that were really truly enthusiasts and had the money to, or people that were just kids and wanted to try to play the games on the PC even though they couldn't, or genuine hardcore gamers, right? But for the most part, if you were playing Call of Duty, if you were playing Call of Duty 4, if you're playing Modern Warfare 1 there, and, games of that era, that's what you were dealing with. You were dealing with mostly the same hardware, same kind of TV setups, same controllers. Nothing really crazy was going on. Nowadays, it's completely changed, and I could sit here on a maxed out PC with some crazy $300 modded controller, edit some configs in a file, and go play a game, and just absolutely destroy people for no good reason other than I have a really good system, I know a little bit of the mechanics of the game, and I got a modded controller. Back in the day, you were good at the game, or you weren't good at the game, and you dealt with it and you got better. That's why I think gaming was more fair back in the day compared to now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good day, everybody. Take care. Also, shout out to this guy here for posting this video that inspired me to think about these things and make that video today on what I think about gaming then versus now. Have a good day, everybody. Take care. It's not about what you got, it's about how you set it up. Stay gaming.